Hey guys, it's me, Renee. I just wanted to touch base with you and kind of revisit what we talked about this morning during Summit. The first thing I want to say is, again, thank you all very much for your consistent dedication to doing what is right by our kids, for being tremendous collaborators, for being extremely supportive, and for trusting me. So one of the things that I want to do is kind of break down what we're doing into chunks so that I'm not delivering a bunch of information to you all at one time. So in preparation for our whole school summit meeting that will happen on Friday, I want to give you some things to think about in preparation for Friday. And I also want to give you guys time to work with your CLT, to plan, to kind of marinate on this. As I introduce what new instruction will be looking like to you on Friday. So essentially I'm trying to chunk things before I deliver them to you. And then also making sure that I share a very clear and concise message, as I shared with you this morning. So I'm going to read off of a document that is attached below. You'll see it in the document below. And we're going to talk about assessment and grading from March 11th, like up to March 11th. So what the school division has come up with is really kind of a timeline when we can put a pin in student work, okay? So the last day of third quarter is going to be considered March 11th, okay? So I want you to keep that in mind as I'm going through this with you. So March 11th is going to be the last day. So middle school and high school, and I'm going to talk to you about high school because we have high school classes as well. Quarter 3 grades will be determined based on work completed through March 11th, okay? So the last day of school, that's the last day of school prior to the closure. Now, teachers will provide opportunities for students to make up missing work and assign a grade to that missing work. Okay, so I'm going to break this down very slowly, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be concise, but you all will get to rewind this video and you'll get to see it in the text included in this document. So essentially how we're going to lay this out is students have until April 17th to turn in missing assignments or complete any reassessments. Hold on, I'm going to go through what that looks like. So again, this is a timeline that I want you to hear. Students have until April 17th to turn in any missing assignments, and I know some of them already have, or to complete any reassessments. So what does that mean? If a student was eligible for a reassessment, then they have some time to do that until the 17th, okay? Now, teachers will enter quarter 3 grades into their grade book and complete the grade reporting process by April 24th. So you would get all of the work in by April 17th, and then you would have a week to kind of go through and grade and do whatever it is that you need to do. But the firm deadline for any information being submitted into a grade book is April 24th. Teachers, this is the other piece. Now I'm pulling this from what Dr. Ellis said. You may want to think about how those assessments are going to look like, right? You want to make sure that you're now living in a different learning environment. So what would a reassessment kind of look like? Do not panic, because I'm going to give you some questions that will help you answer this question. I'll give you some questions to kind of help you guide your thinking in this process, okay? Like I said, we're all going through this together. So what do you need to be thinking about in preparation for Friday's meeting? What can you be doing kind of in the background? So I went through and I kind of plotted out what are some things that I think would help guide your thinking in this process. So the first thing that I need you to do is you will take a screenshot of your grade book. And Bill is going to provide like a super quick tutorial. Some of you already know how to take a screenshot of your grade book. This is very important because we have to know what their grades were prior to our closure. Okay. That is why I would say, when I would say to you guys, like, pretend it's not even there, pretend like the grade book is not even there. That was key, because we want to make sure the grade book is pure in terms of what was graded up to that point. Now, does that mean that you all have grades and things that students have turned in? Yes. And you are absolutely 100% able to take those, assess those, grade those, and include those into your grade book, but not until after you take that screenshot of where you currently are. The reason for that is because they were very clear in their guidance about no assignment or assessment can be entered into the grade book that will negatively impact a student after March 11th, okay? So the first thing you do is do the screenshot, and Bill will provide instructions on how you will do that. The second thing that I need you guys to do is review and compile a list of students that need to have some work completed, right? Kids that are missing things. I need you to have that list in each of your classes. Like, these are the kids that need to make up missed work, okay? So first, do the screenshot. Second, these are the kids that have missing work. And then the third thing, this is where you harness and leverage the work of your CLT, right? So what I need you guys to do as a CLT, and if you don't have a CLT, you can certainly work with someone else in a different department, or maybe piggyback in on another group to see what it is that they're doing. But this is where you leverage the work of your CLT. How might the students complete this missing work, okay? How are they going to complete this missing work? I am urging you to consider two things that are very important in the missing work part. Formative assessments. Are these necessary to complete? Because remember, you have limited time. You have between now and April 17th to do the screenshot, to formulate your list of students that need to make up some work, communicate that to the students, and receive it back. So think about if a formative assessment is necessary, as it does not impact grade, while a summative does. The other piece to consider is this information that you're asking them to make up essential knowledge that is a prerequisite for moving forward? And would you be able to just provide that in a video, much like I'm doing with you, so that they have that to do, okay? And then what might be an efficient way to do a reteach, okay? So let's say, for instance, a student was scheduled on the 12th to do a retake, or the 13th, right? They were scheduled to do a retake, and they didn't have that opportunity. So I don't know if you have done the reteaching process, but maybe your reteaching process is you doing a video like this. Maybe it is you linking them to your Google site where you already have review activities and just kind of logging that. So it just depends, okay? But I want you to think about how this reteaching process for reassessment will do. And you can do that as a CLT and say, well, I have some students that haven't done this. What did you do? And I have some students, and then you can kind of divide the work. And then think about what is necessary for them to make up. What are some ways to ensure that students will have this completed and turned into you by April 17th? So keep in mind, that is a firm deadline. That is a firm deadline that will be communicated to families, students. There is no exception, none at all. We cannot have incompletes in our grade book. It's just not possible. So think about what would be the best way for you to communicate that. And is it sending multiple emails? You know, you can send some and then have them on delay as reminders in your Outlook, or can you do this? Is this capable? Do you have those capabilities in Google so that you are reminding yourself? So you all can think about that as a CLT. What would be a way to ensure that you get these students to turn that work in? And then this one is key to the last point from what came out from the Department of Instruction. What might be some strategies to ensure students are not negatively impacting their grade when they complete a makeup assignment? So hence, I'm going to go back to one in our points, and that is to do like a screenshot of where the students' grades are at this point. So today's overall meeting, this information is one chunk. And that's why I'm not giving you all a bunch of different things at one time. I'm kind of breaking this up because on Friday, what we will talk about is kind of seeing where you all are on this. And then we'll talk about what learning is going to look like after April 15th and beyond. What I can tell you now at this point is to prepare yourself for training on April 13th and April 14th. Those 2 days will be training for what is to come. And I will explain that on Friday. I'm only giving you the grading and assessment piece now. So I want you to review the document. I will have a way in which you all can ask some questions, and maybe we'll do a parking lot for our meeting on Friday so we can go through and as an administrative team kind of answer some of the questions that you might have. But this is where I really need you to leverage the work, harness that work for your CLTs, and you all can meet without any of us being there. So again, I just want to review. We are going to be putting a pin in third quarter. We're going to close out third quarter. My recommendations are screenshot your grade book. Bill's going to provide a tutorial for that. Review and compile a list of students that need to complete work prior to March 11th in third quarter. Leverage your CLT to answer some key questions. How are you going to get the students to complete the missing work? Considering, is it work that is necessary and essential? And also, is it a prerequisite to moving forward? Considering also this question, what might be an efficient way to offer reteaching? You do not need to do a 30-minute lesson. This is quick. It could be a quick review, a quick assessment. It doesn't have to be exhaustive. What might be some ways to ensure that you get your students all of their work in by the 17th? Quick, frequent emails every couple of days. This is a deadline, this is a deadline, to make sure that they're getting that in and you have that communication. And then finally, what is it that you can do? Because the students work according to the Department of Instruction, the grades that they're getting now cannot negatively impact what their grade was at the close of March 11th. So again, this is a small chunk. Take some time, read through it, marinate it. You've got some work, and I've given some suggestions to kind of help inform your thinking during this time. And then we will talk on Friday about what new instruction will look like. And you will receive training on what that new instruction will look like on the 13th and the 14th. That's it, guys. I know this seems like a lot. But as I said today, we're going to get through this together. You all are remarkable. I'm incredibly blessed, and thank you.